Welcome everybody, I'm Jayborino, and this is Antioch Chronicles Remastered, custom campaign for Starcraft 2. Let me do a brief intro for this series now. Antioch Remastered is exactly what it sounds like. It is a remake of the Antioch Chronicles, which was a highly anticipated but never finished custom campaign for Starcraft 1. Now, there were supposed to be 3 episodes. The 3rd episode was never released, but they did release episode 1 and 2. It does support custom voice acting. I will admit, I never played the original version of this, so I'm going into this almost entirely blind. I did go ahead and boot up the first mission just to kind of get a feel for what I'm getting into. And another warning in advance, these maps are still in alpha. Now, I did reach out to the map makers, and I said, hey, I'm interested in showcasing. I've got a lot of viewers who are very excited about this project, but I don't want to do it until you feel comfortable with a stable alpha version, or at least, you know, maybe beta. And they said, you know what, we'll get a version to you in a couple weeks. And they did, and they said we feel pretty comfortable with this one. So this playthrough will function for a few purposes. Obviously, I want to show this off, get out there, give it a try. Testing helps so much for map makers as long as you give some positive feedback and, you know, point out real bugs and not just like what you dream this to be. And then also, I'm hoping that this playthrough functions as exactly that. The map makers can come, they can, you know, watch someone else play their maps, and they can see where things work as expected or not. So I will be pointing things out, but it's not me saying this is bad. Obviously, this is just me pointing out bugs, because again, these maps are still in alpha. So let's go ahead and get started. Episode 1, Psionic Storm, Approach to Antioch. I'm actually very excited. This first map, I believe, is pretty easy. Again, I booted up the first map and played about halfway through, and unless it goes into something else later, which I don't think it will. I think the first map is just supposed to be more of an introduction. And again, the voice acting is really, really cool. So this is Approach to Antioch. A loss of contact with Antioch prompts a recon mission at the province's edge. The province of Antioch has a long and storied history. I don't know when this is supposed to take place. It might just be right at the beginnings of a Zerg invasion. I'm not really sure. If someone can clue me into that. Here we go.
Enzaro Adun, Executor. I am Judicator to Malice. I have been sent to inform you of the recent loss of contact with the province of Antioch, the once home of Praetor Phoenix. Scouts inform us that a psionic dead zone has been blocking all communication into or out of the province. This field appears to have no ill effect on our troops. However, without adequate communication, it is impossible to determine the status of our forces inside the province itself. Observer patrols report sporadic Zerg sightings in the outlying areas. Your first task will be to reconnoiter the Antioch outlands and subsequently establish a working outpost in the area. If there are indeed Zerg nearby, we must know as soon as possible. We await your report.
Yes, well, it seems that the mission started without me hitting the start button. Alright, so I like that guy's voice. I assume all the voice acting was taken from the original version, and it's clearly very well done, so that's really cool. The game speed seems to default to normal, so I'm going to go ahead and kick that up. There are not multiple difficulties, at least not yet for this. I'm going to go ahead and hotkey my Dragoons to 2, my Zealots to 1. Let's go ahead and keep these 3, but we're going to leave the probes back here until we figure out exactly where we want to go. So I'm suspecting this takes place maybe right at the beginning of episode 3 of StarCraft 1, which is the fall. And I'm thinking maybe it's like right after like the first or second mission, which is when Antioch falls with Phoenix there defending it. So like basically right after the Executor leaves to go find Tassadar, I'm thinking. So I'm not really sure what I'm looking for here. Probably a mineral patch. This is a relatively small map, but I kind of, you know, want to look around and see what's going on. Oh, and just a very, very minor point I want to point out to the map makers. When you open the ooh, this guy's in the wall. When you open up the campaign launcher, it does show the errors at the top. I don't know how to suppress that, but I just figured I would point that out. Alrighty, so we're just going to run around here and, again, hopefully find what we're looking for. I've had so many people talk about the Antioch Chronicles and just the original version. They wanted me to go back to Brood War and play it, and then when I saw that this was being remade, I got so excited, because I'm like, so many people seem to love the original Antioch Chronicles, and they were so bummed when it was never finished. I'm like, this is so exciting to see that maybe this will be something that gets completed. Alrighty, so let's head on up here. I'm kind of curious to see if they'll take some creative liberties and complete the 3rd episode. I'm not really sure. It's completely up to the map makers, mind you. You know, I assume all the terraining and things like that they were trying to copy and stay as true to the original as possible, because it was so beloved by the custom map community. Alrighty, so what do we have to do exactly? Find a location for an outpost. Let's focus on that. Scout the area for Zerg. Well, we found the Zerg, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm assuming this is where we want... Yeah, this looks like somewhere we want to go. There's some walls here. Now, Antioch... Yeah, so that was the small outpost that you were in the first episode, in the first mission of the fall. So I guess that's where we're eventually going, and I don't know. I would say maybe don't spoil it for me, but feel free in the comments to talk about the original version. You can talk about when this takes place. I'm not sure if that's something I should know, like if we're going to get there and then that's when we're going to find out that Phoenix was killed, or maybe this is way after that, or maybe that's way before that. I don't really know. I really have no idea. Because when I saw the Antioch Chronicles, what I thought was maybe this took place like way in the past of Protoss history. I wasn't really sure. Anyway, the Nexus gives you, what, 10 or 11 supply? I think it's 10, and Command Centers give you 11. Is that right? I'm not really sure. Are they both 11? Either way, we're going to need 2 more pylons at least. So let's throw one down here. It's a very small area. Let's check over here to make sure there's nothing over here. And maybe we can go out with our Zealots and maybe a Dragoon and leave one at home just in case. Who knows? And then let's do one over here. Let's just load up on pylons. So that's 888, 24 supply plus 10. So that should be more than enough, and it gives us a little extra so that we can actually make some extra probes. Because 5 is not quite enough. So we need to make an assimilator, gateway, forge, and cybernetics core. So again, this is sort of just like an intro. It's like the very first mission, so I don't really expect anything too crazy. I'm not really sure if the map makers... And by map makers, I guess in this case I'm referring to the original ones way back during Brood War days. And are they involved in this project? I'm not really sure. Or was this just like fan-made? This is a fan-made remake of a fan-made campaign? Or is this just like a straight reboot by the original map makers? I'm not sure. Either way, this is awesome. I'll throw down the assimilator first. That way we can start mining. Maybe put 1 probe on gas, and we can keep making probes straight from the beginning. One thing about Brood War probes, or StarCraft 1 probes, what have you, is... for one thing, you know how, like, you hear, like, a sound, and you immediately, like, assign a word to it? One of these things... One thing that the original probes used to say, they have a little beep noise that they make, and to me it sounds like they're saying crouton, like a salad crouton. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but I don't know. Just filling the time here as I build up this base, but I don't know. Feel free to share any weird things that you've assigned to goofy noises, but that's just what I always thought of. Now we're never going to hear it. Of course, now the probes are like, this idiot's talking about the dumbest fucking thing. We're not going to make that noise. That way, you know, he can learn to not bring up really stupid things. It's like when you make a squeak in a chair and everyone looks at you like you fart. You're like, it wasn't me. I didn't fart. And then you, like, move around in the chair to try and, like, reenact the sound, and it won't work. That's what's happening. That's what these probes are doing. Come on, probe. Make the sound. There it was! Crouton! That was it! Alright, thank you, probe. Now I feel like a really big idiot. Now I heard him say, I'm like, that doesn't sound like crouton at all. Now that I've shared this with however many people are watching this video, I feel like a fucking idiot now. Alright, well, we'll throw down the gateway first so that maybe we can build a zealot or something if we need. Though in retrospect, a forge may have been smarter. Not getting attacked by the Zerg. I could go out and scout and maybe murder any Zerg left on the map too, if that's going to count towards the scout the area for Zerg. I will throw down the forge, though, just in case. That way we can get a cannon in the back corner here. I wonder if a cannon would even fit in this area that I've left. But I did leave enough area for units to get through, so if Zerg want to go around or what have you. I'm talking strategy about this mission, but it doesn't seem too intense so far. But I really, again, mission 1 of any campaign shouldn't pose too much of a challenge. The whole idea is to introduce players to your campaign. So I guess, you know, you can take a few different approaches to that. Oh, here we go. You could take a few different approaches to that where, like, do you want to assume that, you know, your players have a solid understanding already of StarCraft, or no? All right, it seems like me making a forge and or a gateway has pissed these Zerg off. So you guys stay back here. You Dragoon. Let's see if we could draw these guys back. No, don't block the Zealots. Get out of there. Get out of there. And let's throw down that Cyber Core. And we've got another Hydralisk too. Yeah, so it kind of seems like when I finished one of those structures, like, either it spawned a bunch of Zerg or just the Zerg on the map were like, nope, fuck you. And they're like, they all, like, sensed that I finished making a forge. They're like, oh no, he's going to make photon cannons. Get him, quick, before those cannons go down. All right, let's, I guess, throw one cannon down for now. And with one cannon, and if we leave, like, 2 or 3 Zealots at home, I would feel pretty safe that we could move out with these Zealots just kind of look around and see what we've got. So let's just attack, move around the map, and if I... Oh, never mind. That was it. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much what I assumed would happen. This is just an intro like, hey, here's how you build buildings and such. So the mission objectives didn't check off as if they were completed before the victory, but that's cool with me. All right, so yeah, this was the Antioch Chronicles. Please don't make any judgments about this, because this was the first map, and I understand it was just build a couple structures, right? Just bear with me. Let's see what the second mission holds, because I cannot tell you how many people hold this in such high acclaim, so I assume that it must get incredibly good. So really looking forward to the rest of this campaign. This has been Jayborino. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.